1. Introduction. My name is Pam. I am 26 years old. I live in a big city. Every weekday, I go to work in a large office building. My job is in an office team. I spend many hours there. I have a sister. Her name is Emily. She is my twin. We were born on the same day. We look exactly the same on the outside. Many people cannot tell us apart. Sometimes it is funny when they confuse us. We often laugh about it. But inside, Emily and I are very different. I am usually quiet. I like to think carefully before I speak or act. I prefer peaceful moments. I do not like big changes. My sister, Emily, is the opposite. She is full of energy. She likes to talk a lot and meet new people. She is very fast at making decisions. She is always trying new things. She is brave and not afraid to take risks. Our different ways make our lives interesting. We support each other, even with our different personalities. We are very close. In my office, there is a man I work with. His name is Andrew. He is part of my team. We see each other almost every day. We often work on the same projects. Andrew is a good worker. He is very smart and always knows a lot about our projects. He is also very kind to everyone. He helps other people when they need it. When we have a problem at work, he stays calm and tries to find a solution. He is very focused on his tasks. He is a good leader. From the first day I met Andrew, I felt something special. I started to like him very much. It was a secret feeling. I never told anyone about it, not my friends and not even Emily. I kept it very close to my heart. I thought this secret crush would stay with me forever. I was afraid to tell him how I felt. I did not want to change anything between us. I valued our work friendship. I just watched him and hoped for something that might never happen. This was my quiet secret. 2. A quiet crush. Every day at work, I saw Andrew. We sat near each other. We worked on many projects together. He was very good at his job. Andrew was always calm, even when things were difficult. He made the team feel relaxed. He often told jokes, and everyone would laugh. I liked helping him with his tasks. He was smart, kind, and focused. I admired him very much. Our work relationship grew over time. We started as colleagues, but soon we became good friends too. We talked about more than just work. We shared stories about our weekends. We talked about our favorite books and movies. He asked me about my life, and I asked him about his. These conversations were very important to me. I looked forward to them every day. They made my office days much brighter. With each passing week, my feelings for Andrew became stronger. It was no longer a small crush. I felt a deep happiness when he smiled at me. My heart would beat faster when he walked by my desk. I noticed every small thing about him: the way he drank his coffee, his focused look when he worked, the sound of his kind laugh. Every detail made my feelings grow. I often dreamed about telling him my true feelings. In my dreams, he would smile and say he felt the same way. But in real life, I was too scared. Andrew saw me as a good coworker and a good friend. He did not look at me in a special, romantic way. I did not want to risk our friendship. It meant too much to me. If I told him I liked him, what would happen? What if he did not feel the same? It could make things awkward between us. I did not want to lose his friendship, our talks, or his easy smiles. I decided to keep my feelings a secret. I hid them deep inside my heart. It was hard to pretend, but I believed it was the only way to keep him in my life. I chose to stay quiet, hoping things might change on their own, but never saying a word. 3. A fateful meeting. One Friday evening, my work team decided to have a dinner. We went to a nice cafe after work. I felt a little nervous, but also excited. I chose to invite my twin sister, Emily, to come with us. She had just finished her university exams, so it was a good time for her to relax. I wanted her to meet my friends from the office, and especially Andrew. Emily arrived a little later. She walked into the busy cafe looking very beautiful. She wore a simple blue dress, and her long, bright hair shone softly. I felt proud to see her. She smiled at me, and I waved her over to our table. Andrew looked up when she came near. He gave her a big, warm smile. I saw his eyes light up immediately. It was a very clear reaction. I introduced them. Andrew, this is my sister, Emily. Emily, this is Andrew from my team. They shook hands. Their hands stayed together for a moment longer than usual. Then they began to talk. Their conversation started easily and naturally. They found many things to discuss and shared many laughs. Emily laughed at Andrew's jokes, and Andrew listened carefully when Emily spoke. Their voices were happy and full of energy. They seemed to enjoy every moment of their talk. I sat quietly, watching them from my seat. They did not seem to notice anyone else around them. It was like they were in their own small world. A strange, mixed feeling grew inside me. One part of me was truly happy for Emily. She looked so joyful and alive. She deserved to have fun and meet new people. But another part of me felt a deep, cold pain. It was a pain I knew well, but now it was much stronger. It was the pain of seeing the person I had a secret crush on connect so quickly with someone else, especially my own sister. I tried to tell myself, it is just a friendly meeting. They are only talking. It means nothing important. But deep inside my heart, I knew this was not true. Something significant had changed that night. I could feel it. The way Andrew looked at Emily, the way Emily laughed with him, it was clearly more than just a normal friendship. It felt like a new story was beginning for them, right before my eyes. For my own quiet dream, it felt like an ending. I kept a smile on my face, but my heart felt very heavy. For their new start. After the dinner, things slowly started to change. Andrew began to ask me about Emily. He would stop by my desk and say, "How is your sister doing, Pam?" Or, "Did Emily like the cafe?" Each question felt like a small push. I always answered with a smile, but inside, my heart felt a little tight. I wanted Andrew to talk about work or about us, but he only spoke of Emily. Soon, Andrew found Emily on social media. They started to connect online. Then they began to meet for coffee. Emily would tell me about their meetings. "Andrew is so easy to talk to," she said one afternoon. "We have so much fun together." She looked very happy when she spoke of him. I listened to her words and nodded. I tried to look happy for her, but it was hard. My smile felt like a mask. My own feelings for Andrew were still strong, and it hurt to hear about their good times. Days turned into weeks, and their meetings became more frequent. It was clear their friendship was growing into something more. One day, Andrew came to my desk. He looked a little nervous, but also very happy. "Pam," he said, "Emily and I are dating now." He waited for my reaction. I took a deep breath. My voice felt like it was stuck. I managed to say, "Oh, Andrew, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for both of you." My voice was shaking a little, but I hoped he did not notice. I truly wanted Emily to be happy. I also wanted Andrew to be happy. So I decided to keep my own pain a secret. I pushed my true feelings deep inside. I showed only a happy face to the world. It was not easy. Every time I saw them together or heard Emily talk about Andrew, my heart felt heavy. I had to pretend. I had to act like the supportive sister and the good friend. I helped Emily choose clothes for her dates with Andrew. I listened to her stories about their fun evenings. I offered advice when she asked for it. Each time I felt a small part of me break, but I kept my secret safe. I knew I had to support them. This was their new start, and I had to be strong for them, even if it meant being sad inside. 5. The big news. One morning, the sun was shining, but my world felt dark. Emily came to my apartment early. Her eyes were very bright, and she had a big smile. "Pam," she said, her voice full of joy, "Andrew asked me to marry him." She held out her hand. On her finger was a beautiful ring. It shone in the morning light. My heart felt a sudden, sharp pain. My hands felt very cold, but I tried to hide it. I hugged her tightly. "Oh, Emily, that's wonderful news," I said, trying to make my voice sound happy. It was hard to speak. I felt a knot in my stomach. Later that day, at work, Andrew also shared his news. He walked into the office with a wide smile. "Everyone," he announced, "Emily and I are getting married." All our coworkers cheered and clapped their hands. They came to congratulate him. I walked over too, with a smile on my face. "Congratulations, Andrew," I said, trying to sound normal. Inside, I felt like my world was falling apart. It was like a very important door was closing, and I was on the wrong side. My dreams, which I had kept secret for so long, were now completely broken. The wedding was planned for the summer. There was much to do. Emily was very excited, and she needed my help. She asked me to be her maid of honor. Of course, I said yes. We spent many weekends looking for her wedding dress. We went to different shops. Emily tried on many white dresses. I helped her choose the perfect one. It was a beautiful dress, and she looked lovely in it. We also chose flowers for the church and the reception hall. We looked at different colors and types of flowers. We talked about food for the guests and music for the dance. Emily and I wrote the invitations together. We spent hours writing names and addresses. She talked about her future with Andrew, about their new home and their life together. I listened to every word. I smiled and nodded. I tried to give her good advice. I helped her write her wedding vows, the special words she would say to Andrew. Each word felt like a tiny cut to my heart. I wanted her to be happy, truly, but my own sadness was deep. Every day, I helped my sister plan her perfect wedding. I stood beside her, a good and loving sister. No one knew how I truly felt. I kept my heartbreak hidden behind smiles and helpful words. But every night, when I was finally alone in my room, the tears came. I cried softly into my pillow. I loved Andrew in silence for so long. Now he was going to marry my twin sister. The thought felt like a heavy weight on my chest. I felt lost and alone, even though I was helping to create so much happiness for them. 6. The night before, the big day was tomorrow. It was the night before Emily and Andrew's wedding. I was alone in my room. The house was quiet. Everyone else was sleeping or getting ready for the morning. I sat by my window, looking out at the dark sky. My mind was full of thoughts. I remembered the first time I saw Andrew at work. He had a kind smile. He was always helpful. We worked together for a long time. I liked him then. My feelings grew stronger every day, but I never told him. I kept my love a secret. It was my silent love. It was a heavy secret to carry alone. Now he was going to marry my sister. My twin sister, Emily, she was happy. Andrew was happy. I wanted them to be happy. This thought was important to me, but inside my heart felt heavy. I thought about all the moments I shared with Andrew, the jokes we made, the difficult projects we finished together. He never knew how I truly felt. He never knew my secret. I thought about telling Emily, but I knew I couldn't. Emily loved Andrew very much. If I told her, it would break her heart. It would make her sad. It would make her wedding day unhappy. I did not want to do that to my sister. She was my twin, and I loved her too. I also thought about telling Andrew now, before the wedding. But what would happen? It would only cause problems. It would not change anything. He chose Emily. They loved each other. My words would only bring pain. They would not bring me happiness. It was too late for us. So I made a very difficult decision, a big decision for my future. I decided I would tell Andrew the truth, but not now, not before his wedding day. I would tell him after the wedding, after he and Emily were married and happy. This was not to ruin their happiness. No, that was not my goal. My goal was different. I needed to tell him for myself. I needed to set myself free. My secret love was a heavy weight. I needed to let it go. I needed to speak my truth, not for him to change his mind, but for me to find peace. I also decided to leave my job. I would start a new life in a new place, far from the office where I had kept my feelings hidden for so long. This was my plan. It would be hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do for me. I needed a fresh start, a new beginning. I closed my eyes, trying to imagine a life without this secret. The night was long, and tomorrow was the wedding day. 7, the last talk. Weeks passed after the wedding. The summer air was still warm, but a new feeling was in the air too. I had asked Andrew to meet me. We chose a small park near our old office. The trees were green, and only a few people walked by. My heart beat fast, but my mind was clear. This was the day for my last talk. I took a deep breath. "Andrew," I started, my voice soft but steady. "I asked you to meet because there is something important I need to tell you. This is not to cause trouble. It is not to change anything that has happened. It is for me." He looked at me, waiting. "Before you met Emily, I had feelings for you, strong feelings. I liked you very much, but I was scared to say anything. I kept it a secret for a long, long time. I wanted to tell you this so I can finally let it go." Andrew's eyes widened. He looked surprised, almost sad. He was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke, his voice low. "Pam," he said, I also liked you in the beginning. When we first worked together, I felt something special. But you were always so calm. You seemed a little distant sometimes. I thought you were not interested in me. I thought you saw me only as a friend from work, so I never said anything either. Then I met Emily, and everything changed." We stood there, under the green leaves of a big tree. The air was still. We both understood. We understood the quiet feelings that were never spoken. We understood the chances that were never taken. It was a strange moment, not sad, but full of things that could have been, but were not. There was a quiet understanding between us. I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. It was a heavy weight I had carried for many months. I looked at Andrew. A soft smile came to my face. "Thank you, Andrew," I said. "Thank you for telling me that. Now I truly feel I can move on. I can start fresh." I reached out and gently kissed his cheek. It was not a kiss of love, not a romantic kiss. It was a goodbye. A goodbye to a past feeling, a goodbye to a secret. It was a kiss of peace, a promise to myself. Then I turned and walked away. I did not look back. my steps felt lighter than they had in a very long time. The last talk was over. 8. A new life. After my important talk with Andrew, I felt a clear path ahead. It was time for a big change in my life. I knew I needed to leave my job. It was not an easy decision, but it felt right. I told my boss and my colleagues that I was moving away for a new adventure. Saying goodbye to the office, a place full of so many memories, was strange. It was where my secret feelings for Andrew had lived for a long time. I carefully packed all my things, ready to start fresh. I moved to a new city, far from my old home and my old life. The city was bigger and full of new sights and sounds. Finding a new apartment was exciting. I chose one with a small balcony where I could sit and think. Soon, I found a new job in a different kind of office. Everything was new: the people, the tasks, the daily routine. There were no familiar faces that reminded me of the past. This fresh start gave me the space I needed to heal and to discover new parts of myself. Every day felt like turning a new page in a book. I made sure to stay in close contact with Emily. We talked on the phone almost every week, sharing stories and laughter. Sometimes we used video calls so I could see her happy face. She was truly happy with Andrew, building a wonderful life together. They were planning a small garden and even talking about getting a pet. Hearing the joy in her voice always made my heart feel warm. I loved my sister deeply, and her happiness was very important to me. I felt a quiet satisfaction that I had chosen to let my own feelings go, allowing her world to remain bright and full of love. Sometimes, a memory of Andrew would come to my mind. I would remember his kind smile or a joke he once told during a difficult work meeting. But now, when these memories appeared, they did not bring the old pain. Instead, they brought a sense of peace and understanding. I realized how much I had grown. I had faced a very difficult truth and made some brave choices. I had learned to value my own peace and inner strength above all else. I understood that true happiness comes from being honest with myself. This was not a sad story at all. It was my own journey of learning to be strong and to find my true self. It taught me that even when love is not returned in the way we hope, we can still find a deep sense of peace. We can learn to stand tall, move forward with courage, and build a fulfilling life. My new life was not about forgetting the past, but about understanding it, accepting it, and then gently letting it go. It was about creating a future where my heart felt free and full of new hope. I had found my own kind of happiness, a quiet and steady joy. And that, I knew, was truly enough for me.